hands down, the easiest way to feel smarter than you actually are about something on the internet is to learn just a little bit, just a little bit about GitHub, and then start creating some projects, making some changes on it, and even better, using the command line to do all of this. Yes, it is a sweet, sweet thing. It's a sweet, sweet feeling, and I'm going to walk you through it. And listen, I'm not a developer. I know a little bit about a lot of things, and I know enough about this to know that it's awesome when you do it. So follow me. If you've never done this before, it's not that hard. You don't have to let it be intimidating. This is GitHub. And let me back up further. This is kind of the home page of GitHub. You can search for stuff up here. You can go to your own projects. I don't even know how to get to my own stuff. Oh, it's over here, my repositories, or better yet, my profile. So here's my profile. And then within my profile, I've got repositories, which are like folders. They're like project folders where I've created things, code, and I've put them up here to maintain. And this is a way to track changes on these projects. Now you can use regular projects, like a lot of these are HTML, CSS, TypeScript, Python, different coding language. This is kind of what it's for. But you can also just create a repository that's got like a markdown, a document file to keep track of stuff and make changes to a list of things or some data. There are what's called awesome lists that have awesome lists in different subject areas. In fact, you know what? Let's go to one. Awesome lists, GitHub. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So these are just lists, literally, of things. So let's go to books. Here's a list of books: free programming books, Go books, Elixir books, mind expanding books. Let's go to that one. And then it goes down into all these different categories. We're going to go, of course, to fantasy, and it's going to say, hey, here are some awesome fantasy books. Now, this is a list of books, and I approve of many of these books. Yes, I approve of this. I approve of this. I approve. I'm about to approve. I've got the audiobook for that. I have not yet read Discworld, but I think it's good. I approve. I don't know what this is. I don't like that one. I don't know what that is. But by and large, this is an awesome list. It doesn't have to be code. This is just maintained by people, and you can come up here and you can see over on this side of the page, these are people who have contributed to this project. These are just regular people. They're not superhumans. They probably are. They're smarter than me and you, but they are just people, and they've contributed along with 186 others, whoa, that's a bunch, to this repository of mind-expanding books, okay? In each repository, there's issues, problems, issues go in here. There's pull requests, which are basically requests to have something added to or changed about the repository, and a bunch of other stuff to go with it. But the main thing that we're going to look at today is the code itself, and we're going to go to this project right here because we're going to make some changes to this code, and then we're going to update it onto GitHub. And let me close out some of these things and show you what we're working with. Right now, I've got a live site, and here it is. It's just this tool for this program that I'm in, and it's got Bible verses. You're probably not interested in this, but it's pretty cool and helpful. It's got 3 different versions, toggle between them. That's it. That's all it does. So in a previous video, I made changes to this repository using the help of our good friend Gemini, an AI command line interface tool, to get a better README file, which is this right here. So I expanded on all this, and I made some changes structurally to the code so that it looks a little bit better than this does. So right here, we have the structure of our code. So this is where all the files are right in here, folders and files, yada, yada, yada. And what we want to do is we want to find this little button right here. This is where we get our code from. And you can do a couple things. So you can just download the zip file. You can open it with GitHub Desktop, which is a program that makes all this stuff presumably easier than what I'm going to show you how to do. Or you can do the command line way. And you can take this command right here, copy it to clipboard, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that here in just a second. Now, the reason we're going to do it this way is because it makes making changes more... is it easier? In the long run, it's easier because you can keep track of stuff better. If I downloaded the zip file, then I would have a copy of all this on my computer, and then I would have to upload it and replace it. And the whole reason we're using GitHub and we're using Git, which is the kind of the methodology behind it under the scenes, is so we can keep track of these changes and not have like versions all over the place, but rather running versions on here. So we're going to grab this code right here and we're going to open up terminal, and I'm just going to do this on my desktop, and I'm going to say git clone. Can you even read this? Let me make this bigger for you. We're going to say git clone, and that's the command to clone this repository. And then we paste in what we just copied. The first times you do this, you're going to have to go to your settings on GitHub because it's not going to know that you're authorized to do this. So you're going to have to go up here to settings, and SSH and GPG keys right over here, and follow the instructions therein. That's beyond the scope of this video, but once you set it up, you are going to be a happy camper and you won't have to do it again, at least not on that machine. So now once we're here, we can go see that, what was this called? CLC versus. Here's that directory. I'm going to code into it and open it in our editor here. VS Code is what I'm using. And here is all of that repository. Now, if I select Go Live, it will pop up, boom, a live version of whatever changes we're making on this local host port on our computer. Now, if that was too fast, I can make another video really slowing this down and walking through all that stuff if it's over your head. Don't worry about it for now, though, because the main thing I want to impart on you is how cool all this stuff is once you start learning how to go through this process of making changes and then uploading them to GitHub. So you've got a fully maintained project with all your changes being tracked. I'm going to open the terminal up right here and show you a couple commands. We've got git status, which says that, hey, we've got an untracked file here, but everything else is up to date with origin main. So that's what we like to see. That's going to be the case until I start making changes. And I'm going to start doing that now because in a previous session, I have, as I already told you, made changes to several things. And one of them is the CSS. And I'm simply going to do the unthinkable and come over here and copy paste, boom. And then I'm going to come over here and copy paste in this script. And then I'm going to come over here and copy paste in the index. And then I'm going to come over here and copy paste in the README. All right. The video is not about what changes I made. It's just that, hey, I made changes to all these files. And now what are we going to do with them? So as you can see right here, my README already looks a lot better over here on the right side of the page than what I had before. It's just more fleshed out. And if we go live again, using our HTML page to do so, we can see that I've got just a little bit more aesthetically pleasing version of this site. Again, the video is not about the changes I made, just the fact that I have made changes to this project. Let's open this up and say git status again. So now we have some modified files, and this is where Git shines. It's saying, hey, we've modified all these files. So in order to commit the changes in a more fleshed out project, we would probably like go through some code review and stuff. But in this personal project, I'm just going to say, hey, git add, and then put a period. And so this command right here, everything about Git is prefaced with the command git. Add, that is adding certain files to the commit that I'm about to make, which that'll make sense in a second. And the period means to add all of the files. Okay, so I'm going to click enter, no errors. Then I'm going to go git status. And I always do this a bunch just to see, okay, what's my current status? And we've got new file and we got modified files. And actually, I don't know what this file is. Live server setting. Okay, I'll leave it in there. Honestly, because I'm not a developer, I don't know why that new file was just created. It has something to do with the fact that I've got a live server going, but I'm going to posit that because I had another live server going and another instance of VS Code, that this is now saying, hey, we couldn't use the regular server, live server, so we're using this port instead. Yes, that's my final answer. I do not have to phone a friend for that. Back to our story down here, we're going to go git commit -m. This is going to be our message. So it's customary and good practice to write a message here explaining to either your teammates, your future self, or someone else who is looking at your code, what on earth that you did here. And so I made changes aesthetically to the whole project and added a better README file with the help of Gemini CLI. And I will leave the typo in there. Now it's saying what it did. And we changed 5 files. We had 193 insertions, 265 deletions, and this file right here. Now, if we go get status, we're up to date. We're ahead. So we're ahead of origin main by 1 commit. So we've committed a change to our code base on our local machine right here, but it's not been pushed up to the main code online. Now, it's actually better practice to create branches, which are like you've got your main code base, and then you have a branch off of it to make these changes. And then once the changes are good and approved, you merge that into the main branch. But we kind of live on the seat of our pants here, and we just create changes straight into main. That's how we roll. And so I'm going to say git commit. Wait, I already did that. Now I'm going to say git push origin main. So these, again, we preface anything that we do with git with the command git. Push means I'm going to push these changes from my local computer up to the old interwebs on GitHub. And now I'm going to tell it where to push it. So origin main is the main branch of what I am working on. We're not going over other branches. If you want to hear about that, let me know in the comments. We're going to click enter. And now if there's any errors to be had, this is where we would see it, but there weren't any. So here it's just saying all the stuff that it did: enumerating objects, counting objects, compression, compressing objects, writing objects, total of 10. Now it should be on our GitHub. So let's go back over here, back to repositories. And then here's our CLC versus repository. And now check this out. Now we see that we've got 2 minutes ago, we've had some commits made. I don't know why it says 2 minutes ago when I just did it like less than a minute ago. We've got this right here. Our new section is now live in our README, and it is building. This little badge right here over on Netlify indicates that it's building the live site. So I like having that there just to let people know that, you know, it's either live or building or broken or whatever. I'm going to refresh that. Nothing yet. Going over to the site, and there it is. It's live. So this is no longer on localhost. This is our live site. So that's how you make changes and why you keep track of projects in the first place over on GitHub. It's really fun, and I encourage you to learn just a little bit of the command line interface to be able to do these things. GitHub makes that GitHub desktop tool, so you can go check out that also if you would like to use their software. But I just think it is a good practice and good to learn how to do this thing from the command line. It's very speedy, and you can learn how to do it there pretty easily. If this was helpful, would you mind clicking the old thumbs up if you haven't already? I greatly appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you like coding, automation, spreadsheet tutorials like this, and go sign up to my free newsletter. I'll leave a link for that down in the description below. Hope you have a great one, and talk to you next time.